Last week, I was on a call with Ankur Waripu, and those
team.
who don't
Coming
have
back.
long things resent
Coming.
long things.
Team D. D stands for whatever you want it to stand for. Yeah, so for the first time on this podcast, I kind of disagree with you on this. I don't. I take 1 minute to digest it, next minute to work through it, third minute I'm on a decision. There is no rule that you should completely follow, and you should have a rule of rule independence. It's kind of a paradox.
Welcome to the podcast of the people who are against the Matrix. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You go back to your scrolling and believe what you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in this podcast, you waste 1.5 hours, and you get a few jokes. And in between, if you get some value, I'll show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. This is the final choice. After this, there's no turning back. Welcome to Ranks to Riches.
भाई साहब
So,
बहुत serious हो गया.
what are we cooking today?
So
Saarthak
we are
bhai, what
cooking
are we
today.
cooking
That
today?
is नहीं भाई इसका नाम नहीं बोल सकता मैं. But we both have planned a very good podcast. He lost all control.
Good. I like the joke.
Thank you. I like myself too.
That's how Morpheus is when he's not on camera.
Yeah. So we too have brought a very good podcast today.
Good.
He has brought.
So,
yes.
Saarthak bhai,
Yeah,
how was your week?
I'm speaking, and he has brought excuses as a topic, and he'll tell you more about what he's going to talk about. For me, it's two topics. First, that I promised you last week. He doesn't keep his promises, as you can see. But you know, I am a gentleman and I do as I say. It's momentum. And the second topic is the rule of rule independence. So, as you go further in, this is gonna be a banger, and I let Tim speak ahead.
So, I sometimes don't keep my promise because I care more about the awam than the promise. So, now, Saarthak bhai, first you tell us how was your week, because that is a ritual. हमारे यहाँ
The week has
ऐसा ही होता है.
हमारे यहाँ ऐसा ही होता है और ऐसा ही होगा. You know, honestly, somebody told me that the intros were too long, and then I was like, okay, but I honestly didn't care that much because these parts of the intro were one of the favorite things for me about the podcast as well, apart from the value. Yeah. So
those who don't
Coming
have
back.
long things resent. Those who don't
Coming
have
back.
long things resent
Coming.
long things.
yeah, definitely. But
Okay, we
you
go
said
ahead.
things or thinks? Things or
Things, why things? G, top G wala.
Yeah, got it. Then it becomes a little too much sus. But okay, I get the gist. I hope you have long things, bro. We should stop this, mate. We should stop this. Anyways, coming back to my week.
Go ahead.
I quote this as one of the best weeks of my life till now, which is a saying because I have had 2 good weeks, to be honest, but okay. So, the starting of the week, the first 2 days occupied by BitSat. I had the exam, I gave the exam, it went well. And then the next day I got my triple IT result, which also went pretty well. So, you know, very good for starting of the week. And then by the end of Wednesday, I was kind of regretting that I not wasted, but gave too much time to this, because now I had 2 hours of video to edit. Last podcast in the starting, I was like to this guy, bro, let's make this episode a little shorter, and then we went ahead to make it 15 minutes longer. Usual us. So then after that I had some fun. We met even on yesterday. We met, we met yesterday.
Yes,
We
yes.
went on some strategical sprees, and it went pretty well. So yeah, this has been one of the most fun weeks and one of the best weeks of my life. So how about you, Tim?
Yeah, I mean, every
How
week
about
of
you?
mine is good. If you ever ask me, every day is good. Every week is good. But on a realistic point, from a realistic point of view, pretty good. Pretty busy, to be honest. And I messed up my sleep cycle even more. I feel sleep deprived and I have a headache, but we'll still keep rolling this
Bro,
podcast. So yeah, just freaking
bro,
up
bro.
the sleep cycles stuff.
You think you're sleep deprived? I legit slept at 7:40 or 6 2 days of this week. So you're not sleep deprived. Your sleep cycle is much marginally better than mine.
Yeah, guys,
I slept
Saarthak
at
is another creature.
7:40 one
He's
day.
not human. So he can sleep.
And
He can survive in
honestly,
1-2 hours of sleep, but we cannot.
no, the point with me is until I don't sleep, I feel like I can go without sleeping. Honestly, at 7:40 I was like, should I sleep? And I hadn't slept for like almost 22 hours. I woke up at 9 that day. So yeah, it was amazing. But when I sleep, you I am worse than Kumbhakaran. You just cannot wake me
Kumbhakaran
up.
who?
वो लंका वाला कुंभकर्ण, रावण का भाई, who slept
अबे
for
यार
6
जोक
months.
था.
अच्छा, oh, I thought you are too into all this to understand. भूल गए होगे कौन है कुंभकर्ण.
सरनेम
जाता
भूल
है.
गए मेरा.
Bro, यार. द्विवेदी भाई. Anyway,
Will not.
so Team D. D stands for whatever you want it to stand for.
Okay. Bhai, we should,
Yeah, so continue.
if we do discussions like these, we should not recommend our podcast to family members and girls and sisters and all.
Yeah, I was thinking the same. After I made that, joke last time about who is Vastavikta, I was thinking मम्मी को बोलूँगा ये podcast ना देखें. Because
Your mummy,
was-
your mummy doesn't have time for that shit. Mummy is too busy, bhai.
and in the last video I even put up a transition. I am too proud of this joke.
Okay.
He must have not
Okay,
seen the
guys, fair
podcast.
enough.
Of
Let's
course, why
come
would
on.
he? Honestly, I haven't too.
Yeah. Honestly, I haven't seen the podcast. I'll watch it tomorrow on 2x. Sorry, guys.
This podcast was the only podcast I saw from my ID. I don't see any of my podcasts just so that I know how many views are, authentic views. I even say to my mother that, don't see the podcast unless you're gonna see it in one go. I don't want any extra views to be, in the analytics until I'm sure that, yeah, this is a legit view that I got. So this is the only
I respect
podcast
that.
that I saw, and just because I wanted to hear the intro once again, it was an F1 intro, and I was like, and I put up the F1 background. I was like, yeah, let's see this once. I wanted to see that.
Nice. So, shall we
Yeah,
begin?
so continue with your week, Tim. Yeah.
Yeah, week की बात छोड़ो भाई. We don't get stuck in the past. We focus on the present and we aim for the future. That's the quote of the week.
That's the
Anyway,
quote.
we have
we
wasted
should
enough
do a
time.
quote of the week. Both of us. Honestly, you just gave me an idea again. From the next podcast, I'll bring a quote from my side, and you bring a quote from your side, which you felt was the best quote you read the whole week. That way, at least we'll be reading
Wow,
some
that
quotes
is
as
good.
well. How about?
Yeah, that's good. That's
Yeah.
good. As if in our assemblies we didn't have enough thoughts of the day, but okay.
Bro, those thoughts of the day were from some place, and I feel though that place is good enough, that was too
Honesty is the best policy.
specific of a source. Honesty is the best policy. So yeah, we should continue, and I should let Tim get ahead with his topic, that is excuses, and I won't make any other excuse for myself to procrastinate the starting of this podcast anymore. Thank you.
Awesome. Saarthak, I would request you to play some sort of a version, non-copyrighted version of AP Dhillon's excuses. Find it and play it right here. So, while the intro is there, okay? Well, like in the beginning
AP
of the
Dhillon's?
intro to my segment. Yes, AP Dhillon's
Okay.
excuses.
I think I
Find
could
a
play the
non-copyrighted
original
one,
version
even if it
only.
is a meme one.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll do it. There are some versions that
Okay,
are not
cool.
copyrighted, and
So-
I'll use them.
Right, as if we are making any money anyways. Anyway, so
Yeah.
now let's begin. Let's get into the serious mode. So, Ankur Warikoo, one of the biggest finance YouTubers in the country, has this great quote which I heard, I think 4 or 5 years ago, and it has stuck with me ever since, that the difference between what you are, where you are, and where you want to be is an excuse. You remove the excuse, you'll get there. I mention his quote because last week I was on a call with Ankur Warikoo and his team. Yes, I'm not joking. I can send Saarthak a clip, and it was a Zoom call. I was in his course and he was taking some doubts, so it felt good to talk to a person who I have admired for a long time. And that definitely wouldn't have been possible by giving excuses. Disclaimer: when I say that, I don't mean that I'm the best, I never give any excuses, I'm like top G, I sleep -1 hours per week and per day, and I just do all the productive stuff. Today itself I wasted 1.5 hours watching videos on YouTube randomly. Okay, so I'm not the best, but these are, and this is true for all the podcasts that I will make where I will share some value. These are just the things that I am learning, and I want to remind myself to follow these thought processes, and these are just sharings. It's like, hey, this is what I think could work for you. This is what has been working for me. Just take it for what it is. Take it with a pinch of salt. See if it works for you or not. If not, no problem. You're in the same place as you were previously without using it, so you didn't lose anything. So that's a disclaimer. I am not the best. Again, दूध का दूल्हा नहीं हूँ मैं. So, whatever I'm going to tell you in the next 30 to 40 minutes is going to work only and only if you want to make it work. I cannot come there and do that for you, no matter how close you are to me. But I can only show you the path. It's you who has to walk through it. Watch the Matrix, guys. Anyway. Now, let's decide. So today's topic is how to tackle any excuse which you might have. When do excuses arrive? Excuses arrive when you have to change something in your life. Anything you want to change. For example, even while recording this podcast, if I have to change my camera setup, I'll give an excuse. Bro, this is good, this works fine, why not? Give these excuses. Okay? And the action actually happens when the pain of remaining the same exceeds the pain of the change, which means that if I have a better alternative to recording the videos, I can record it in the same quality, in the same format easily, and Saarthak can edit it easier than this one, then I will definitely change, because the pain of change is less than the pain of remaining the same, which Saarthak has to face while editing. Okay, so that's it. Now, when it comes to excuses, I want you to keep in mind that excuses can 100% be true and legitimate. 100% agreed. Whatever excuse you have in your mind, it could be 100% true. But also keep in mind that the only people who like excuses are the ones giving them. Nobody else gives a damn about your excuses. Trust me on that. Not your teacher, not your employer, not your friend, not your fitness trainer. No one cares about your excuses. The world doesn't give a damn. It's better to just say, yeah, it's my fault that I didn't do something and I can change that. Because once you then give an excuse, because once you admit that it's your fault, now you can change it. It's in your control. Until you stop blaming other people for your excuses. If I say like Saarthak recommended this tool and that's why I don't like it, Saarthak has the control. When I say it's my fault that my recording is not high quality, I have the control and I can change that. That is the good part. And keep this in mind. If you have to go anywhere ahead, you'll make a lot of mistakes and you'll have to admit your fault. This is not me telling any person. This is just me telling future me or past me. Okay? So, I have done nothing worse significant in my life. Okay? So, it's just one man's 2 cents. Take it or leave it. Free की advice है. लेनी है तो लो, नहीं तो जाने दो. Okay. Now let's get to, these are some fundamental frame shifts which you need to have while dealing with excuses. Again, pain of change, pain of remaining the same. No one likes excuses. Don't make excuses, admit your fault. Now it's easy for me to say it, right? But how easy is it to do? Now let's get into a step-by-step plan to remove the emotions. Sorry, to solve excuses. Which is a good transition to my first point, which is to remove the emotions. Yeah, the moment I say remove emotions, I'll be called heartless, whatever like term you want to call me, heartless, emotionless, stone, rock, whatever. But that's what you have to do to take logical decisions, right? No one has ever told me to take decisions based off of emotions. No one will ever tell you this, that you should take a decision while being under the influence of an emotion. So remove emotions, take a deep breath from your stomach, not from your lungs. So your stomach should move while taking the breath. Take a deep breath and think clearly. You can't think clearly if your mind is filled with brain rot content. That's why I recommend meditation so much, but that's a topic for a different day. Try to think clearly. Try to just have one thought at mind, one problem that you're trying to solve. Now what I want you to do is get to the root cause. Boil down. While you're having a problem, you have so much fuzziness around it, such a brain fog, you can't really think clearly. Once you get to the root cause of why the problem is arising, you boil down to the actual root cause, actual root cause, and simplify it, then I would even say that 70 to 80% of the problem is already solved once you know what the problem is. Just remove emotions and think logically. How do you do it? How do you get down to one specific thing? You do it by writing down all the thoughts you're having until you get to a point where you have one clear statement, which is your current problem. This is journaling. This is the essence of journaling. Just write down whatever it's coming into your mind. Just keep writing for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And after 30 minutes, you will have reached a point where you have clarity on what is the problem. Yeah, Saarthak, go ahead, share.
Yeah, so for the first time on this podcast, I kind of disagree with you on this.
Okay.
Not exactly.
I appreciate that.
But on a very small thing. Okay, and I'll share my side on it. See, I agree with the fact that you have to let go of your emotions in order to make good judgments, good decisions, and stop making excuses. I completely agree with you on that. But I feel that, and I have felt this after I have actually used your method, that is, either write something or do as much as you can, so that only the problem that you have left, that is the only emotion in you. But many times that many people also say that you are bottling it up. Not exactly bottling it up, but you are not working through your emotions. And instead, and you said this to me once, remember that you said this to me, that bro, you do meditation, why can't you control your emotions? You asked me this once, and I was gonna answer you, but something happened. I really didn't get a chance to tell you then. I have a very specific other method that I use, and that is I work through my emotions super fast. And I have developed this consciously, that instead of blocking that emotion or just, letting it go, I feel the whole emotion and I understand the whole emotions super fast. Like, it's in a, at first it was tough, but by now it's in a jiffy. That one emotion comes, like they say, there are 5 steps in anger, and I really don't remember what those 5 steps are, sorry, but whatever those are, they come to me very easily. Like, to give you an example, it was very hard for me in the first hour of seeing my marks, that okay, after so much of work I did not get what I wanted to get, but it was for 1 hour, and 1 hour only. Everything, first I accepted it, okay, I did not do good enough. Second, I understood why I did not do good enough. I accepted the fact, and then I thought, okay, what can I do next? Okay, now it's either I do it all over again or I focus on my future. Decision made, instantly focus on the future, no emotional judgment. The thing is, what he's saying is very similar to this, but on a very small point. Instead of letting go of that emotion, I say learn to, express that emotion super fast within yourself. I don't even need to write, I don't need to do anything. I think the right things so fast that any emotion, anything works instantly. I bottle nothing. I have no residue. I have no what you all call trauma. I got no what you all call PTSD, because I work through it. There is no residue of the emotion left in me, but I have worked through it so efficiently that, yeah, and many times people say, I'm not, feeling like talking to anyone, I'll talk to you later. It has almost never happened to me, even though I have very similar situations at time. And the reason is, some people take 2-3 hours, 4 hours to digest it, then work through it. I don't. I take 1 minute to digest it, next minute to work through it, third minute I'm on a decision. And it has not always been like this, and it's not perfect at times, but 80% of the time very fast. So on this topic, I feel, actually I was gonna talk about emotions when he was gonna talk about decision making. He said that he would tell you how to make decisions, so I was actually waiting for that podcast to deliver my segment on emotions. But yeah, that's a little small part of it on this, and I'll delve deep into emotions on that one now. So yeah, Tim, on to you.
Yeah, I guess that's a really good thing. If you can do that, awesome, man, awesome. I think I'm just sharing what has helped me, and
Yeah,
I think that's a really
understand.
great level of intellectual, intellectual enlightenment, that you can just go through an emotion in less than 5 minutes. I'm not like that actually. So I take some time to digest, write it down. Even in my mind, it does take some time. So guys, do whatever you want, bro. You don't have to take my advice.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it's always the
on
case.
this, the last topic that I'm gonna choose today, the rule independence, is kind of on this only. Anyways, but yeah, Tim, I understand you completely, because at the starting of 10th, a couple of years earlier, 3-4 years earlier, I used to do the same. But the thing is, it took me also a lot of time, and I felt it's wasting time, and in any ways I have to be more and more efficient. So yeah, on that note, I would suggest you on this thing, do what I say, but slowly. Use your method only, guys. I'm not saying that he shouldn't use his method, but try at least once or twice. And I think this has helped me a lot, because I have used your method already and I felt this is a better method. So yeah, maybe if you could try once, you would be really really benefited, because as you said, it takes a lot of time, and even to write things, it takes some time. It takes 10 minutes, 15 minutes, but for me, I just have to think the right things, and in 5 minutes I am done and dusted, no residue, nothing, it's done. So yeah, maybe you could try that. And honestly, it will take an year, a couple of years to really really get into that phase, but that's something that has helped me. And even I have learned to use certain emotions for my well-being. Like I don't know if you have heard about funk music, but in my mind I relate funk music to those quotes, about sigma quotes you call, or motivational quotes that you call, that I have seen on YouTube. And now when I have to give a test, and I did this before every mock test I gave, for 5 minutes I listened to a song of my choice, always a funk, and I got into that gear, and yeah, many times the test went very very well. So maybe you all could try that. And Tim, I would suggest you should try it at least once. And yeah, go ahead with whatever you are gonna say. And on emotions, more when he brings decision making.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Someone says that the podcast gets longer, but okay, we'll roll. So, is it you laughing or just banging the
It's me
camera
laughing.
on the table that you want to beat me
It's
so
laughing.
much?
No. It's me laughing because honestly, I became what I set out to destroy.
Anyway, cool, no problem. We'll still roll. Yeah, guys, if it works for you, try it both. Whatever works for you, go with that. Okay. So yeah, where was I? Yeah, writing down all your thoughts until you're having until you get to a point. Okay. Now, once you have that thing in once you have that thing in mind, that now I have this specific problem, it's boiled down to one question or one statement. It's usually something like, I can't do X because of Y. I can't be fit because my mother does not want me to go to gym. True with me, and I'll tell you how to tackle it. So if you follow my method, once you have removed all your emotions, written down your thoughts, then you have a statement which is bothering you. It could be very true. Yes, my mother does not allow me to go to gym. Then what do? Not work out at all? I might. I mean, that is an option, but we care about the results, right? The world cares about the results. So we still need to get to do that. How do I do that? Maybe I could do home push-ups. I could go to the open air gym, right? I could do home workout by push-ups, pull-ups, chin-ups, stuff like that. I could go to the open air gym right next to my home. I could go to a gym and not tell my mother about it. It could be. So there are a lot of different things once you've boiled down the problem into a specific statement. It would start something like, someone told me that I am fat, and if someone tells me, I'll have this emotion, and why doesn't he do this? Yeah, he is not very slim, or if he is slim, so he can go to the gym because his parents allow him, and all of that stuff that will get cleared if you follow my if you follow my process. That will get cleared only once you remove the emotions and write the logical cause and write it down and get to that conclusion. That's what I did yesterday for a different thing which I can't share right now. So yeah, now that you have one specific thing about without question, think about it. Is it logical? In my case, I would say something like, is it logical that I cannot get fit because my mother does not allow me to? She controls my fitness and she isn't fit herself. So how is it logical that she can control my fitness? I mean, in this case, it's practical, it's logical, but some excuses are totally illogical. Something would people would say, if like I cannot get fit because I have a sweet tooth. Yeah, let's say that I have a sweet tooth and it's just me. I have always loved sweets, and yeah, guess what, bro? You also loved Pokemon when you were when you were in class 5th, but you had to give up to study. But you had to give that up to study, right? So it's not logical that I have a sweet tooth, that's why I can't get fit. Makes no sense.
Bro.
You also love
Bro,
different
sorry.
things. Bro, don't interrupt me, please. अच्छा बोल दो, अब कर दियो तो.
I was on a system. No, I was saying that on that example only, that I have a sweet tooth and I absolutely love sweets as well. But there was a period when I was getting slim and I ate no sweets. And none means none. There came, in festivals, mithais came. If it was prasad, I ate half. So, yeah, what you are saying actually works. That just, there are reasons that are illogical, and just because you have a sweet tooth doesn't mean you cannot get fit. Because I am a living example of the fact that while loving sweets to the core, I became fit.
Awesome. We'll get to that example when after a few minutes, okay? Because I have a lot to cover, and in the last part, I have one simple solution which you can apply totally. Okay, yeah. Saarthak bhai, thank you for that anecdote, and don't take offense if I ever say that. Don't interrupt me, because that is one of the bad habits that I have.
I understand that you have your flow, and I usually don't want to break it, but at times I feel like net disconnections. Anyways, I feel like if I don't break it now, my anecdote or a little piece of value that I want to give will be redundant after that. So yeah, that's why that is the only time I'm gonna interrupt you. So yeah.
I get that. I mean, if it's making the podcast better, everything for that. So no problem. Now, yes. Where are we?
Yeah, illogical.
Yeah. Is it logical?
Excuses.
Yes. So now again, is it logical? To define logical, we need to see if it's physically impossible or not. Okay, does physics allow it? Then you have to figure out if it's illogical or not. Now, don't take this thought process to the other extreme. That you believe that you can fly, and you're jumping off a hill, and you're other people are telling you that, bro, you'll fall. Then you'll say that that's an excuse I don't want to do. That's an excuse I don't want to believe that. Physics does not allow you to fly without anything, without any equipment, okay? It does not matter what your belief is. Science will supersede all of it. Now, again, so yeah, all of that stuff is there. Is it physically impossible? If not, then it is an excuse. Now, another example I have that I cannot someone might say that I cannot become an entrepreneur because I'm not from a family of business people. That is a belief that they might have, and it is so crucial to remove that belief, because if you don't, you won't become a business person. Like, a few of my family members have this belief that rich people are evil. A few of them have it. So you can't get rich if you believe that rich people are evil, right? So it's also about the belief part. And yeah, again, it's physically not impossible to get rich and not be evil. I hope that's making sense. And these kind of beliefs are limiting beliefs. A limiting belief is basically a belief which hampers your growth, but it is actually not true. So to conquer any limiting belief, you need to have a positive experience. So think of limiting beliefs like a liver. Okay, here's the fulcrum. Both the sides we have something. So here's is the beliefs that you already have, the negative belief, and here you want to add stuff to make it positive belief. So here you already have a lot of negative examples. So that the fulcrum is like this. Okay, so it's like this. But in order to make it balanced or make it shift this side, you don't want to keep it balanced. You want to make it shift this side towards the positive side so that you can actually go ahead and take the action. Now, to conquer both of these beliefs, if I have a sweet tooth and I can't get fit, then I'll see Saarthak that Saarthak has a sweet tooth as well, but he got fit. Oh, that is a positive experience added right here. Boom. Usually, one positive experience is enough to conquer all these negative experiences. It's so heavy that it moves the fulcrum right that way. So that's that. And again, if I used to believe that rich people are evil, then if I see some examples of rich people who are not evil, Alex Hormozzi, not evil at all. I mean, yeah, definitely not evil. Completely legal and ethical businessman. Such a good gesture he has that he gives away all of his knowledge for free. I always think that who can be more ethical than him? Sir Ratan Tata, Wipro wale, Azim Premji from Wipro, immensely ethical people. Again, fulcrum move to the other side. Now, we've gone through limiting belief. Now, let's get to some good stuff, okay? I'm excited about this because, yeah, the Matrix attacked us again. But as I was saying, I'm really passionate about this topic. Let's dive right into it. So, firstly, while giving our excuses, so let me tell you a story first. Saarthak made this story on his Instagram and he asked people, what's the biggest thing that is holding you back from achieving your goals right now? We got a few answers and I'll read them out to you. First, ADHD. Second, procrastination. Third, anxiety. Fourth, depression and procrastination again. So these were the four things. Few of our friends sent this. Now, firstly, let's define stuff. That is very important once you're doing stuff. Once you're trying to not give excuses, trying to solve excuses. Okay, think of excuses like a problem which can be solved, not like a belief or a truth which has no exception. It's not a rule. Okay. Now, anxiety. What is anxiety? Has anyone ever thought about this? What the heck is anxiety? If you go to Google and search for a definition, you'll find really amorphous, really wishy-washy stuff. And anxiety is a feeling of that stuff which isn't applicable in real life. Anxiety, in my opinion, in Hormozzi's opinion, when I mean my opinion, I mean Hormozzi's opinion. Anxiety comes from too many options and when you can't decide. So you have multiple parts that are going from where you are to where you want to go, but you are here and you can't decide. So how do you fix anxiety? You fix it by trying to just figure out one path which you think logically makes sense and then just going with it and not looking back at the other paths. That's a solution. I repeat, these definitions are valid only in a particular context. I know that anxiety is much more to that, but I'm just giving you an example so that you adopt the thought process that I am following to make this practical definition of anxiety. Again, depression. Bro, if you have clinical depression and you have been diagnosed with it by a licensed medical professional, then go get treatment. I can't help you with this. But if you're confusing sadness with depression, then let me help you with this, and I can say that sadness comes from a lack of options. It is the opposite of anxiety basically, that you don't have any option and you don't know where to go. What's the solution to sadness then? Just find options, talk to people, read books, listen to podcasts, do stuff, bro. There are a lot of people from whom you can get advice to. Watch our previous podcast to understand from whom you should get advice from. That's that. And we'll get to ADHD part a bit later. So how am I coming up with definitions? That's what I used to think when I first heard Hormozzi talk about these definitions. Then of these emotions or basically traits. So then, how you do that? How you do that is basically by observing that okay, I'm feeling anxious. Why am I feeling anxious? What has occurred that has made me feel anxious? Am I feeling I'm feeling sad? What has occurred that has made me feel sad? This actually happened and I applied this a few days ago. So one of my friends, this guy, had another friend who did not respect the priorities of, so let's say one friend was S, one was A. So A did not respect the priorities of S and S was calling A immature. So I thought that what does maturity mean? So I thought that, then I observed that what happened? What happened for S to call A immature? Then I came up with the example that maturity comes when you agree to a person's differences. So again different definitions in different contexts, but in this context maturity came from understanding and accepting other people's differences. This guy was not accepting his difference, that's why he was being immature. Also, now to get into the ADHD part, how to eliminate ADHD? What's the opposite of ADHD? Focus. What is it that I am like, what do I do? What do I need to do for other people to say that yeah, he's a really focused guy? Okay, I need to just do one thing for an extended period of time. Okay, how do I do that? Okay, I have to eliminate distractions. Okay, they're very good. What is a distraction? A distraction is anything which does not move me closer to the goal that I have. Right? So just eliminate that. Okay, I can eliminate that, but how do I eliminate that? I think I need willpower for that. Awesome. What is willpower? Willpower is the ability to delay gratification and not do the things that you want to do, even though you have a strong urge to do it. And you know deep inside that in the long run, these things are going to harm me. Again, very fixable thing, very practical thing. If you want to fix it, if you don't want to fix it, million different excuses. Does that make sense? Now, focus is here. And also, one more thing. Let's say that the person who said that he's suffering from ADHD is a really good gamer. He can play games for 6 hours a day straight, but he cannot do this other thing, whatever the other thing might be. It might be coding, it might be reading, it might be whatever. He can't remain focused on that thing. But bro, you're playing games for 6 hours a day. What is the difference between games and studying? Why don't you take the elements from gaming and put it into studying? Okay, what does game have? Level up. Okay, I can figure out how to level up. PW app has this really good coins feature and you can rank in the leaderboard just like you do in the games. And they have this reward, a tier system. Once they have this reward, they give me a new gun skin every time I hit a certain milestone. Okay, how about I reward myself every time I get a certain number of marks in my mock test? Why not do that? So once you admit that is an excuse and you want to solve it, you can have hundreds of ways to solve it. Okay, you can reward yourself by just taking a snack, just doing something that you like. Okay, I studied for 75 minutes and I got this number of marks in my mock test. Then just I can have a cookie, I can have whatever I want, I can have a chewing gum, I could do something that I like. I can scroll reels for 5 minutes, although I would not recommend that. Okay, now that's done. Again, you have to think, why am I anxious? Why am I sad? Why is he confident? Why am I not patient? Why is he charismatic? Why is he focused? What does that person have to do to attain the trait that I do not have but he has? Why is he charismatic? He comes into the room with a smile and he greets everyone by their first name. He shakes hand. He gets out of his seat. He stands up and shakes hands with the people. He nods while people are speaking. He does not interrupt when someone is speaking, and like Saarthak. So that's why he is charismatic. This was a joke. Okay, so I mean Saarthak part, not the charismatic part. So that's why he is charismatic.
I am charismatic.
Yeah, you are charismatic. Okay, I mean that's why that other person is charismatic. You are also charismatic because you have a other different set of skills which cover up for this one skill of interrupting people, which is just a joke anyway. Okay, so ADHD again. Let's drill down on it a bit more. So let me just search for famous people who have ADHD. Many successful people have ADHD, including athletes like Michael Phelps, Simon Biles, Adam Levine, Justin Timberlake, entrepreneurs like Bill Gates and Richard Branson. Bill Gates has freaking ADHD. This guy was the richest person in the world for many, many years. If he can do it, why can't you? Why can't you? Another quote from an entrepreneur I really admire, Noah Kagan. Why not you? Why not you? Why can't you do this, bro? Why not you? Just diffuse every reason that's stopping you from. Emma Watson also has ADHD. Howie Mandel also. Paris Hilton. Everyone. Many famous people have ADHD. Once you admit that it's an excuse and you want to solve it, it's easily solved. Okay? Again, ADHD. So let's consider that you have ADHD and this example thing isn't working for you. So now you have ADHD, which means that you can't stick to one thing for a long time. Okay. What does that mean? Which means that you can hop from one task to another without the loss in the mental capacity that you are giving to each task. Is that right? Which means that you can effectively multitask. Is that right? Then you should go for jobs that require you to multitask, right? That's how you flip the deficiency into a skill, right? That means that you might not want to go for maker jobs, which are artist, writer, coder, stuff like that, and you want to go for more things where you have to do a lot of different things. Like a manager, he has to talk to a lot of different people. Like a salesperson, I mean, sales is also one of the maker thing. But I hope you're getting the point, right? A manager have a lot of different things to do. So again, physical problems. This is another good one. So physical problems. Let's assume that you have a clinical disease because of which you are not able to do things. This is actually a disease. Everyone knows about Mr. Beast. I was listening to his podcast yesterday and he just said that he has Crohn's disease. You know what Crohn's disease is? It is an autoimmune disorder, which means that your body thinks that a certain part of your body is harmful to itself, so it goes into the self-destruct mode. So it starts destroying its own cells. Mr. Beast had that at the age of 14, 15 years. And think, he's the biggest YouTuber on the planet. In spite of having that. And he said, and I quote, if you wake up and you're full of energy, you're wavelengths ahead of me. You're way ahead of me. And still he made the best YouTuber. He's still the biggest YouTuber in the world. How? Is he just a freak of nature, or is it something that you could learn from him, right? Every excuse can be boiled down into I can't do X because of Y. And every excuse can be diffused by others like you have done X even after having Y. Just like others like you who is overweight have done X, gotten fit, gotten into the best shape of their life, lost almost 21 kgs even after having a sweet tooth. Saarthak's example. And I leave you with one last thought for today. This is a kind of an emotional thing. It's a mindset thing which I want you to remember, that if you believe in any God figure, God gives problems only to those people whom he think can get out of them. So I believe in you and I'm rooting for you. Go ahead, kill your excuses. If you need any help, just DM me. I'll always be there to help. Thank you. That was it from my side.
Whew. That was amazing.
Saarthak's like, fuck, finally got over.
No, I'm like, that was great. And it's never like it finally got over, and it's never like that with
who
you,
sounded like that? Not gonna lie.
I was like, because it was a very heavy thing.
Yeah.
It was a sigh of things. So anyways, I don't remember what exactly you said. Some line that just pinched into my head. That remembered. Yeah. Why can't I?
Exactly.
So that's something that I personally can say works, and it fucking works. Honestly, guys, because many people don't know about this, and let me share. I got good marks in 10th, not just because I wanted to, but this was the first question I asked. I saw what was the highest marks you could get, 99.8%. I was like, okay, so less people get it. But then the next thought in my mind was, why can't I? And it's not just because of this. I have developed this into so many parts of my life. Okay, many people must have cracked J while they are in a school. Why can't I? Why can't I do this? And to get it one step ahead, I even said, why can't I do a great performance in JEE when I was preparing for JEE while I am in school? Nobody has done it. Why can't I be the first?
Right.
Okay, nobody has been great at many things. Why can't I be the first? And honestly, once you start thinking these things, once you start, just making the best thing of yourself, it's actually works. And excuses will always be there. Like, there will be a million excuses, but one thing that you want to do it and that you should do it is enough to kill all of them. So yeah, I think amazing from you.
Thank you.
And yeah, anybody who thinks that they are still a bit like, okay, I have this excuse, is it logical or not? Do one thing, DM us with this excuse, give your excuse and just say logical or not. We'll help you. We're open to help you. If it is actually a logical excuse that you can't work with actively towards your goal, we'll say, okay bro, do this, and we will provide you with a solution as well. And if it is not logical, we'll bluntly say illogical excuse, do what you want to do. If you want help, people will help.
Awesome.
Yeah. Apparently this is something that I have always felt in my life, that whatever I wanted to do and I really wanted to do, somehow some people got into my life, some website I came across, something I came across, it helped. He talked about God. I believe in him, and I say, if you really want it and you think that you should do it, he will give you a way. He will. And I always say this one thing to people. There is this YouTube channel. We are every podcast I feel we are giving you one YouTube channel to see. But anyways, it's MJ Beats. I came across it while viewing Tommy Shelby quotes, and his quotes, 90% of my days are so much similar to the things I wish I could hear. It's I call it personally God's message to me. The quotes are so relatable, and they have developed this mindset that I have. Many of my thought process are because of those quotes, and maybe it's God's message to me, who knows. But every day when I open up my phone and YouTube, that's the first thing I see, and it always helps me in the later part of the day, or maybe something from the day before. So yeah, if there are 100 excuses you can make, but this one thing that helped me through a lot of things, that one channel made by a person I don't know, working, who doesn't even know I exist. Yeah, so excuses will be there, just need to find your stuff. And there is a line Toto Wolff, Mercedes principal, said when Lewis Hamilton left Mercedes at the end of last year. He said, always find your people, and bro, do it, and you will not find excuses, you will find ways to be better in life. Find your people, find your things, go ahead. No excuses can stop you, my guarantee. नहीं तो भाई 100 मिलियन ले लेना, जब भी आ जाएंगे तुरंत दे दूंगा. So, coming to my topic. After hearing it, I am switching the order, and the first thing that I'm going to talk about is the rule of rule independence. The name has been taken from a chess book. I think Mastering Chess Strategy, something from John Watson, something. Yeah, a very good name. He, in his book about chess, he said, there is no rule that you should completely follow, and you should have a rule of rule independence. It's kind of a paradox thing, but yeah. And honestly speaking, this one statement of a chess book has helped me a lot. So first I'll give you the example that the book has, and then I'll continue with examples from life. So the in chess we have this thing that heavy pieces, that are queens, rooks and other things, should not be kept in front of a pawn. That's one of the examples he gave. And it, because it is said, pawn's mobility or motion is hindered. But many times, many times in grandmaster level games, even world championship matches, you will see that a player who probably the world champion himself has broken this rule and still won the game, not drawn, won the game. It's one of those instances when a rule that you are taught in the beginning does not actually help you but hinders your progress. So I have seen many people have rules like, okay, I will not do X, I will not do Y ever, or like, this is something I'm completely against and I will never do. Let's say okay, let's take an example from someone. I don't know if this is an actual story or not. I believe it's a story about Raja Ram Mohan Roy. I could be wrong, I heard it somewhere, but it clicks with what I'm gonna say. If anybody knows if it is a real story, do let me know. And if it is a made up story, think I made this story up, and yeah, understand what I'm trying to say. So it said that Raja Ram Mohan Roy was a great believer of not drinking alcohol, which is a good thing, which is a very good thing. But once upon a time, in his last days, he was in Russia. Russia, as you know, very cold, very cold country. And there are, if you live in India, you know that some layers of clothes can only get you so far in cold. So, and mobility also decreases, so there are limitations on clothes you can wear. So his body temperature was decreasing rapidly. It was decreasing at a very rapid pace, and there is a reason Russian alcohols are so famous. That's because the way Russian alcohols have been made are not just because of recreation. It's a need for them as well, because they have to keep their body temperatures up, and alcohol is a very effective way to do that. I'm not saying go to Russia to drink alcohol, but understand, it was his rule that he will not drink alcohol. He went into a hospital, he was admitted. Doctor suggested, have a shot of vodka, that will help you. Doctors can only heat you up so much, and at that time we did not have that best medical facilities. He died, as I heard. I might be wrong, but let's say this is a made up story that I made, okay? Because I'm really not sure. I have searched it up, but again, some stories you just cannot find, and there are a couple of instances where I did find it. So let's not go into the originality of the story. Let's just say this is a real thing. He died. So if you just know this story, you will say, okay, drinking alcohol is good. But then you hear other stories that people have gone into addiction, people have done so much bad things for it. You are like, drinking alcohol is bad. But what is it? Because a coin will always have two faces. Which face to choose? What to do? So another thing that I disagree with Tim on this, that he is an extremist. I am a complete non-extremist. I say balance the coin on the table. So yeah, it's so important to understand that there is no one right thing, as he also said today even, that there is no one right thing. Even for me, I have a lot of guidelines for myself, what I call principles. So my suggestion to you is, don't go into one thing. I myself keep guidelines for myself. Okay, I will do this, or I will try to be better each day. I'll try to study for this. Just guidelines, not rules. I'm giving an examples. Or let's say if this situation arises, I will do this. I have made some guidelines for myself. But if there is a logical reason enough, if, as he said, if the reason is logical enough and the situation is dire enough, I will go completely against my guidelines while knowing I'm going against my guidelines, just because it is a better thing to do. the way I got to understand this is, why are rules made? Has anybody tried to understand why are rules? There are some rules in certain spaces, there are rules in certain things. Why are they made? Initially they are made for our benefit, so that we do not get into trouble, we do not do anything bad, and we have a peaceful life. But if those certain rules are you know inhibiting us from actually doing the right thing, or inhibiting us from being better in life, fuck rules. Fuck what anybody has to say. People say, you should listen to your mother. 80% of the time I do, but there are 20% where I don't, and at times she gets angry. At times I realize, okay, I should have listened to her. At times she also realizes, okay, I should not have said that, because he's already doing a good thing. Listen to what you want to listen. You will do mistakes, you will do a lot of stuff, but do not keep a rule for yourself in life. Be flexible. And that is what I have always strived to do, and I advise you to do. Walk the middle path, not like this guy who is a complete extremist. And okay, it's your choice. Honestly, again, this is not a rule. I'm not saying that you should not be an extremist. If that's what you want, if that's what's working for you, be an extremist. For no matter what anybody says that you should not do this, it's a very extreme thing. Fuck them. If it is right for you, if it is good for you, do it. And as I always say, instead of always doing what you want to do at times, or what you think people will say, the society will say, or anybody you want to think of, the first person that came into my mind will say, think, are you thinking the right thing? Is it ethically, morally, physically, socially, mentally correct? On so many parameters, is it correct? Many times yes. Do you want to do it? Yes. If yes, go. No matter what your rule says, no matter what somebody says, no matter what's written on the notice board or the rules board or anywhere, do it. Always remember this line, always remember, I always keep this in mind. The rule of rule independence. Nothing, no rule, no guideline, no principle, nothing should bind you from doing something that is right and that you want to do. And now this creates a rift, that many times this statement also coincides or contrasts with lack of clarity. Like, same example, an example on alcohol that I'm going to give, that is a made up example for sure. Let's say there is a man who does not drink alcohol. His friend comes up to him and says, bro, I got this bottle of 40,000 rupees, it's imported. And he's like, okay, that's a really nice bottle. Okay, let's have a drink with him, he must be really rich. Is it the right thing? I think not. If you think it's the right thing, go ahead, find a logical reason for it. And that's what I call lack of clarity. Instead of it being, the rule of rule independence, it becomes a lack of clarity in your life. You don't exactly know what you want to do, just because it's the bottle expensive and you think that the person might not be expensive. Oh, sorry, rich. How can a person... Okay, I'm gonna come back. Okay, the person might not be rich. He might have gotten the bottle in a gift himself. You don't know. And you are saying it's a logical reason, the rule of rule independence. Don't misuse this rule. And many times it is such a dynamic situation. What is dynamic? As Trembake said, I always ask what it is. What is dynamics? Dynamic is a thing that changes with change in one variable, and a very very small variable, and is dependent upon infinite variables. Infinite. Like, your score in tests are not just dependent upon how much you know. Contrary to many beliefs, it's really really not. It depends upon how much you know. Major portion is this, of course, but it also depends upon how the how well you are mentally, how you are physically. Maybe you are tired, maybe you have a fever physically. Do you still not know this? No, you know this, but you have a fever. How can you do something good? No, it will impact you. Many times what you have eaten last time, many things. When a football player comes into a match, it depends upon a lot of things. And honestly, I don't know if you guys know Angel Di Maria, very good football player, Argentina's left wing. He is retired from national team, but I don't know who exactly the person was. But Sergio Aguero said to that person that next time you play against Di Maria, he was in Real Madrid at that time, talk to him about his wife. That person went there, said to Di Maria something about his wife, and Di Maria completely lost his game. He couldn't do anything. I actually do not know the full story, but I just a couple of days ago I saw this, and I was like, is he not a good footballer? He's an amazing footballer, but again, he lost because of the dynamics of the situation. So always keep in mind and always be flexible about what is one thing. Many a times we think that okay, this one line is the right thing to do, this one static line is the right thing to do, but life is dynamics, and I will talk about dynamics and probably emotions if this guy comes with decision making in the next podcast. But just for you guys, for now, life is dynamic. Life depends upon a lot of things: what you have done in past, what you're gonna do, which people are around you, where you are born. Many things out of your control, many things in your control, many things that is in your control but not really in your control. Yeah, life is very, very dynamic, and we as humans tend to make very, very static decisions that many times I have heard, and this is going to be very, very controversial to parents. Sorry, parents, that a guy should not have a girlfriend when he is preparing or he is in school. I saw a subreddit. There was this guy or girl, I don't know, but their partner helped them achieve a very, very good rank in, I think, JEE. Yeah, it was JEE. It was on JEE NEET Tards Reddit. I'm not saying is it advisable though. Still, no. But is it a rule that you should always follow? Again, seeing that guy, no. I would say no, and I would really, really say no. Judge, and to judge is not easy. To judge when to follow the rule and when not to follow the rule is not easy, and you will make mistakes, as I said before. But think, and on those two things, do you think it is right? Let's say you really, really believe the girl is a really, really good girl. It's an opportunity you don't want to lose. Is it the right thing? Probably yes. Do you want to do it? If yes, go for it. What the society says, what anybody says, matters less. When you are actually doing the right thing, when you have that confidence on yourself that no matter what happens, you are always gonna do the right thing. Always. You are gonna do good. And always believe in the rule of rule independence. And never stretch it. Be in the middle path. And I'll talk about the middle path in dynamics the next episode, and I think you're gonna love it. But for now, I'm gonna shift my focus to momentum, and I'm gonna continue my momentum of speaking all this into this segment as well. So welcome to momentum, guys. Momentum is not what you have heard in physics. Momentum is not mass into velocity. Momentum is not all that. Momentum is for me the residue of the past that still and will always affect your present. It's a way I put it. You can have your own definition, the rule of rule independence. And why do I put it? Let's see. Many times, okay, he sent something. Let's see what he has sent. Awesome definition. So yeah, thank you, mate. That was really, really, I appreciate it. So yeah, coming back, what exactly is momentum for me? Apart from the definition, many times you have realized that when your mock scores or when your ability to do something is going down, it decreases at a slow rate but continuously. It decreases continuously. And like, for example, at times I was getting 120 in mocks, in advanced mocks, honestly. I could show you, I won't show you, but I could. 120, 90, 70, 40. I got 40 once even. And I have studied for so long. Do I not know stuff? I know stuff. Do I always do so many wrong things? No. Seriously not. I got 120. I got 3 times more the marks. Momentum, guys, momentum. Because at that moment, the momentum was going down for me. And it affected me kind of in advanced as well, because a couple of weeks ago from advanced, I was getting around 110s, 100, the 20s even. In a test, I got 118 something, I feel. Then it started decreasing a bit. 180, 90, 99, 87, 82. In AYJR, that happens, that method got takes, in both paper combined, I got, I think, 153 marks. 153. That means at an average, I got how many marks? 76. Let's take 77. Decrease. And in real advanced, the graph, 2 weeks ago, 110s per mock. 2 mocks means around 220. 90 means 180 in 6-hour advanced paper. 99 means 190, a little bit increase. 87 means 174. 82 means 164. Then 153 in AYJR. 140 in advance. The most important paper of my life. Why did I do so many wrongs? Of course, the paper was tough. Not exactly, probably I did not do my best. I made some silly errors. But a lot of it also goes to momentum. The momentum was against me as well. The frame of mind, whatever you call it, it was against me. And at times, it will be completely forwards to you and it will help you. So, first of all, how to conquer this momentum? How to get whether your momentum is against you or it's, towards you. Is it pushing you or pulling you? So one of the best, like in mocks, you can always see the marks and you have a very quantitative things. Yeah, it's actually towards me. Yeah, I'm getting more marks in each mock that I'm giving. In life, you have no marker, man. There is no test in life. So you do this, and it has helped me a lot. When you wake up and you go through your day, realize how much time you are wasting. And by wasting, I mean you want to see if your momentum is helping you towards a certain goal. How much time are you giving to the goal that is actually producing some results? Okay, let's say I want to code. So how many minutes am I giving on lead code? How many minutes am I actually giving reading the book? Not just thinking about stuff, not just coding, but also reading the book, going on lead code, or seeing a lecture on something, doing DSA if you want. How many minutes? If the minutes increase and the minutes you do not do stuff decreases, the momentum's with you, continue. But if the momentum's against you, let's say the minutes that you are giving to that thing decreases for some logical reason as well. Maybe there is a fest in your college, maybe you have an emergency in your family, maybe you are ill. The momentum is actually against you. Falling ill is actually a part of the momentum, because once you go ill, you take days to rise up again. Once you stop studying for 2 days, it will take you a week to get back into the rhythm as well, to study that many hours with that much focus again. And honestly, why exactly is because of our nature to be same each day. I don't know, it's a theory that I have, and it's completely mine. I haven't heard anybody else talking about it, so believe it if you want. I give you the rule independence. But I thought about it, and I felt that, since let's go into the primal part, the prime age, when nothing was there, what did we people do? We woke up, killed animals, went to the fire, cooked it, nothing with spices, no thing, ate it, then did what? I don't know. Probably sat or hunted for some animals, went to some caves, slept. Each day, same. There was nothing else. As I said, it was only a static day, no dynamics. So the primal part, the part that always works on its own, is only, you know, habited and only I'm not able to find the word, but you get the gist of it, that it is only towards one thing, that yeah, every day should be the same, and if you unconsciously, function, every day is going to be the same for you. And I actually can tell you this happens. If you consciously do nothing, let's say for me, today was one of those days. Yeah, so today was one of those days when I honestly consciously started doing work after evening. I know it's bad, but there are days that are low for me. There are days that I, don't do a lot of stuff. And as he said, I am also not Doodh ka dhula. So, what is it? It's the primal function of our brain. For the past few days, I have been, watching some videos. I've been wasting some time as well. Honestly, a little consciously as well, because I want to give my brain and my body a little rest as well. But yeah, I'm wasting time, and unconsciously today I wasted a lot of time. What is it? Momentum. So by now you must have realized how important momentum is, how important it is to change momentum, and possibly you have some idea how to conquer it. Now, what is my method? Okay, conquering momentum is not like winning a war. It's not just like one day the war is there and the war is over. Ceasefire doesn't happen here. Conquering momentum is like building a house that has gone into shambles. You place one brick on top of the other, you make one room, then you make the next room, and then you make the second story, and that is how momentum rolls up. So let's say for me right now, the goal is to study some things towards CS, and to make more time for the things that I want to do. Number one thing that I am doing currently, because I have not been in touch of me, working for 12-13 hours in a long time now. It's been almost a month. I've been working less and less time. So what I plan to do is, and I'm trying to do it more and more each day, as I said 2 podcasts ago, strategy and tactics. First of all, I'll talk about my tactics for each day. Each day I'll see how much time I have given to scrolling videos on YouTube, reels, and I saw that today, and I'm not gonna say the number, it's embarrassing. So it was around 5-6 in hours, not minutes. So yeah, let's not talk about it, please. So I'll see. Right now it's at 6. Tomorrow I'm aiming for not 6 but 4-5. Not too much. Okay, he sent something. To change momentum, external forces required. The physics principle applies. Yes, physics principle applies. You cannot change momentum just by sitting. Okay, I'm sitting here and momentum changes. No, that doesn't happen. But yeah. So what is important is, let's say today I did 6 hours. Tomorrow I'm aiming for 4 to 5 hours only. I'll do less, I know. If I honestly put myself up to it, I'll do less. But realistically, let's do that 1 hour that I get, 4-5 hours. Let's say I'm scrolling videos, but that 1 hour I'll study something important for me. Right now, as I said, Notion, I haven't done much of it. Busy weeks, editing, that and all. But again, no excuses for me. I'll study Notion, and one thing that I am saying this in this video, by the next week I'll be working in Notion, and there is a strategy that I'm gonna share with you guys this time. So the tactic is this: work more and more and spend time on, because most time that I spent was on videos and reels only in the past days. Thank you. Tim says all the best, and thanks for that. Yeah, so the most time that I wasted was on this only. So this is the main thing that is going against, that is the main momentum that is going against me. What am I gonna do? Slowly decrease it to a normal limit. Again, no rule that I'm not gonna do something, but yeah, I'm gonna decrease it to an optimum level, so that I also have a little bit of entertainment. And yeah, and on that note, honestly, during even JEE advanced preparation, as I was studying, I had to study for a long period of time. So after 2 3 4 hours of study, to refresh my brain, I did one thing. I have a racing game in my phone, Real Racing 3, for those of you who are interested. I played just 2 races in that. Each race is around 3 to 5 minutes depending upon the circuit you choose. I knew that no matter how much time I give, it's not gonna exceed 10 minutes. After 2 races, application, it takes a lot of willpower, because you want to win. At times you just don't win and you're like, oh, I want to win. But at max it's gonna take 10 minutes, and after that 10 minutes I'm back. So a little bit I went on the tangent, but as I was now coming back to momentum, that I'm gonna decrease by that I know it was very ambiguous. By that I mean my time of scrolling, and I'm gonna increase my time of studying. That is the tactic that I have. That is a very basic tactic, and I feel that works for me for now. The strategy that I have is, the thing that I'm gonna work towards is, first, Notion, and the second is finding more stuff like that roadmap that I showed you last time. These are the 2 things. I've already found stuff for AI, and I'm gonna do more, go into more, as I said, communities, as Tim advised me to do, and little by little give more hours to AI. And now coming on to Notion, because it's the most important part of my strategy. Why am I really learning Notion? The real reason for that is, I want to structure my life to the last bit. So I am trying to learn Notion in its fullest, understand its databases, its calendar, and what I'm gonna do is, for the next week at least, and at most both, only a week, I'm gonna plan certain sections of my life. Like let's say, because you don't know for next month what you're gonna do, so planning ahead of a week is redundant and illogical, and planning less than a week, you might not even hit your goals at the end of the week. So yeah, for 1 week, let's say I want to study AI, so I'll put in Notion, I'll study this much AI on day 1, this much AI on day 2, as my real schedule is, maybe because I'm also going to college. So adhering to everything in that week, I'm gonna put of total time left in my life, 60% to the things that I wanna do, 20% will be completely empty, because you don't know when you want to have time for something, when you have some extra assignments that you really wanna do, and 20% of the time to my leisure hobbies. Let's say today, we on the podcast on live, I got the idea that we should do quotes of the week every week. Now we are gonna do that. Let's say someday I get an idea for something, but I do not really have a time to think about it at the moment. I'm gonna write it that way, and each week 20% of the time will be gone to that ideas that I get in a week as a whole. Now, if let's say I completely done an idea, I'll take it, completely done a stuff, take, and I'll know, okay, this idea I worked upon, this is the idea I need to work upon, because many times you forget the idea and forget why you had that idea. So this is my method of conquering my current momentum that is actually against me of learning AI. So you can do this. If not, plan. In JEE Advanced and even in class 10th, I always planned the next day a night before. Always. And it's written that I do not sleep, no matter it's 4 a.m., no matter it's, I have slept at 5 a.m. during JEE preparation as well. No matter the time, if I do not know what I'm gonna do after I wake up the next morning or the next afternoon for that matter, I will not sleep. First I will think. And because I was always 10 steps ahead of myself, I had already a plan for a month in JEE Advanced preparation and even in class 10th. But I have already talked about it in episode 2, you can watch it. But yeah, do this. Always plan your day the night ahead, always no breaks in it, and hit your goals. Always, every day, and hit realistic goals. Don't start the first day with I'm gonna do 6 chapters. I never did that, and I honestly advise you not to do that because you are realistically not gonna hit your goals. I am currently at 6 hours of videos. I can maximize it down to 3 hours, 4 hours probably, but I'm not setting the goal that okay, I will not view videos for more than 1 hour. That's illogical because okay, tomorrow I can do it, maybe day after tomorrow I'll again view 6 hours, and then what is the point of this? So thinking about consistency and the real picture of momentum, start with small goals. Start with, let's say you want to study something 2 hours or even 1 hour. Start with, if you are doing nothing, start with 1 hour per day. Then next day 1 hours, okay, for this week 1 hour. Next week, okay, 1.5 hours this time. Next week 2 hours. Next 4 hours. Now you understand to those who are above class 10th, you understand the parabola. Yeah, starting is very steep, 1.5, then you go steeper. Actually, I actually spoke the wrong word and I don't know what to say to that. Being a math student, I spoke the wrong word. That's shameful to me. I should be burnt. I'm a witch, I should be burnt. But okay, coming back, jokes apart, it's very horizontal in the starting, just on the positive x-axis. To those math students who are gonna come and hit me just because I said it's very steep in the beginning, at 0 it is very steep. The derivative is 0, and then you slowly go ahead and you attain a very large value, and you start attaining large values. So yeah, start with 1 hour. Okay, I'm gonna study for just 1 hour. Let's start with 1 hour. 1.5, 2, 4, 6. And he said, अबे नॉर्मल भाषा में बताओ. सॉरी प्रभु, हम आपसे क्षमा मांगते हैं कि मैं नॉर्मल भाषा में पैराबोला नहीं बोल पाया. मुझे इस बात का बहुत खेद है. मैथ्स के 14, या खैर, एंड या do that, and I have almost wrapped it up. Momentum is one thing that people don't use. You could use momentum for yourself. Something good happens, and I always do this, and I always try to do this. When something bad happens, prepare and try to make things good, and when something good happens, go. Steep and shit. Okay. He actually wants to know what do you mean by steep and shit. Again, Tim, do one thing. Search the figure of parabola right now. What the figure of parabola with axis is drawn. Y and x axis drawn. Once you search it up, speak. You can speak now. You can interrupt me. I do not have much problem with you interrupting me.
हाँ भाई, searched it. So parabola with axis drawn. Done. ठीक है.
Yeah. So at x equals to 0, it's very, horizontal, let's to say. If you see a very
Correct.
small part, it's very horizontal. The y-axis
Yes.
is not increasing much on increasing the x-axis. Let's say you go from x0 to 1, the y has only increased 1, yes?
समझ गया. Atomic habits में पढ़ा है.
Yeah, you got it. समझ गया, yeah.
So it's
incremental
gains.
Read Atomic Habits. Yeah, in incremental gains.
तुम भी बता दो लेकिन.
Don't know the words, yeah. So to those of you who are still a little bit shy of what is going on, let's assume the x-axis is the amount of hours you have spent trying to change your momentum, and y is the change in the number of hours or the momentum that you are trying to change. Okay, so in the first week, x from 0 to 1, you have only managed to go up to 1 hours. Okay, 1 hours of study. From 1 to 2, according to that parabola, you will go from 1 to 4. Hypothetical situation, 1 to 4. But from 2 to 3, you will go to 4 to 9. The jump at beginning was 1. The next week, the jump was 3. The next week, the jump was 5. And now let's say you are on 3rd week to 4th week, 9 to 16. Exponential gains, not incremental. Again, exponential gains is e to the power x kind of a gain, which is very, very similar to parabola, honestly. But hey, nobody here actually gives a fuck if it is if the difference between exponential and parabola is there. cool, but still it drives the point home. Yeah, it drives the point home. So that's it from my side. I hope you guys understood what I'm trying to say. And if you still have some questions and you are like, okay, I did not understand this, DM me, post your questions to me. Maybe I'll reconstruct this topic the next video, like Tim did for internal leverage. And Tim will probably give me some feedback of his own. So, Tim, what do you think? You can
Yeah,
mute.
I think you
I
had
think you
something
had
before I
something more-
interrupted you about
No,
momentum.
I
You were saying
did
something.
not. Actually, I did not.
अरे था यार कुछ
No, I don't think so. But yeah.
कुछ तो था.
No, I was actually wrapping it up that I was just actually wrapping it up that use momentum, that many people don't use momentum in their lives, and if you use momentum wisely, you could actually you gain a lot of stuff. Like how I use momentum personally is when I'm at a low in my life. Everybody gets highs and lows. When I'm at a little low in life, like last May, for that matter, I'm not gonna say why, I'm not gonna say how, but Tim knows exactly. It's not exactly a low, but you understand what I mean by low. I worked out well, I studied more, I built that momentum, and I went up. And when I went up, that is right now, I'm still much up than I was like last May. So yeah, even though my advance went that not well, and you have momentum for different things in your life. I am talking about the momentum about me being fulfilled by what I do in life. So yeah, I'm at a up. I started this podcast. What I have learned is when you are low, try to build something that will help you maximize your ups. That's what momentum, use momentum for. How to change momentum, you understood? Use momentum when you understand, okay, right now I'm trying to change my momentum from low to high. Prepare for what you are gonna do when you achieve it, and when you achieve it, do not just do it, because the momentum is with you, and when you use the momentum, yeah, the thing kills and you actually do some good stuff. And yeah, I think that's it for me. And he was actually right. I did not realize I had that in me still. So yeah, and guys, we both do not have a script, so we might leave certain topics, and then the next day we realize, oh shit, we forgot. Like if you have watched the last podcast, in between of the segment that where he was telling, where I asked him about mentors, he realized he completely missed a point about mentors that he had to talk before. So we recorded that portion and we had to cut it off and do things with the editing. And this podcast is also my section from now, has been 1 hour. We just don't seem to get shorten it up. Anyways, Tim, what's your feedback on it?
This was probably the best topic in all of the episodes that you've brought till now. It was something which challenges my existing belief system, and I usually since it is coming from you, a person who is already smart enough, so I would consider it
Really?
a challenge, and I would like to analyze both of my belief systems, the one that I have and the rule of full independence, because I am a usual believer that everything that happens in the world is because of a rule. But we'll not debate it. I'll think about it more. And it is caught on camera that while you were speaking, I just pulled out my phone and started typing. I was just typing my thoughts, that what do I think about what he's saying. So whenever I do that, it feels amazing. That and I guess the conclusion that I currently have is that, bro, do whatever you want. I mean, it's not that you need to stick to one rule. As he said, that extremism might work in some areas, but it does not work in other areas. The rule of full independence might work in some areas, it would not work in other areas.
The thing is, as I said, you have to be logical and 2 parameters. I completely agree with it, honestly. And as I said, the first and the most important parameter is it right? Is it right? And do you want to do it? He's typing something again.
No, I'm not typing.
And honestly, If Tim, I interrupted you. Yeah. If I interrupted you, actually, your voice is coming very weird. It's cutting in between. So, yeah, I am trying not to. I am trying to understand when you are speaking, when you are not. But again, go ahead.
Okay, so क्या बोल रहा था? So हाँ, what was I saying? Completely forgot.
That it would work in some areas, but not in some.
Huh, right. So even if, let me change my Wi-Fi really quickly. Let me see if that helps.
One eternity later.
Yeah. So the thing that I was saying about the rules
Yeah.
was that do whatever makes the logical sense in order to get where you want to be. Do not stick to one ideology. That is a lesson to myself, that even if something is true and the thing that I'm considering which could help me get my goals does not align with that previous thing, you don't have to always believe in truth. Yeah, that's a subtle topic, right? That's, I think, a topic worth the next episode. So decision making would again get postponed, and we'll talk about believing in lies and delusion next.
So emotions will get postponed, and dynamics in life, and I think it will really complement his topic as well, that the dynamicity in life and all the delusions in life you will see in the next episode.
Awesome.
So
This was Saarthak.
feel-
I would request you to.
and yeah,
I would request you to bring more topics like these, which challenge the belief system and more intellectually stimulating things, because these are really good. And it's like bring things that I don't know of, so that I get to learn. Because
Yeah.
although we share a lot of commonalities, we know about many different things. We both know about the same things, but the background is different, right? You have chess, Formula One, and
Yeah.
coding background. I come from a sales, marketing, front-facing background. So we have a lot
No,
of things to
and-
teach each other.
Yeah, and the way we view the things as well, you view things as an extremist, and I view things as a complete non-extremist, complete
Yeah,
non-extremist.
I would not
So
like that
lens
tag though.
also changes our point of view.
That is also right, but this might change.
Extremist.
Yeah, this might change. It's just that currently it is benefiting me, so I'm keeping it. If it's not there,
Yeah.
if it won't benefit me in areas that I want it to, I'll change it. I'll adopt a different belief.
Again, rule independence.
Yeah, that is something I realized
If it is
in
the
today's
right
podcast.
thing to do. Yeah. So as we say, we both are still learning, and I'm the one of the major reasons for this podcast is I'm learning from him, he's learning from me, and we are in this journey together, and we are sharing this journey with you guys as well, so that you could learn as well.
Right. So, Saarthak, if you don't have anything, let's get to the outro.
No. It's almost 3. We have been recording since almost 1, before 1 honestly. It's done. It's over, guys, and all from my side today. And Tim,
समय
I'll let
समाप्ति की
you wrap it
घोषणा।
up.
समय समाप्ति की घोषणा। आप सभी का बहुत बहुत
जी।
धन्यवाद हमारे साथ आने के लिए सदगुरु पॉडकास्ट पे, जिसका नाम है रैंक्स रिचेस। मैं आपका होस्ट टिम द्विवेदी आपसे विदा लेता हूँ। शिवरात्रि, शब खैर। टिम द्विवेदी साइनिंग ऑफ।
And this is Saarthak Singh signing off. Grazie, guys. Grazie. Arrivederci.